Hello, welcome to Lemon Steers, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Monday Night Raw of September 16th, 2024. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way, shall we? I'm just leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Monday Night Raw, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review. So I would say this episode of Monday Night Raw was like one of the better ones. I think this is probably like top 3, maybe top 2 of the whole entire year. I think everything absolutely delivered. And I'm loving what we're doing with like just building throughout Monday Night Raw. Like it's not necessarily about the PLE. Like yes, sure, those storylines did have a focus for sure. And we will get into those. But these storylines like Gunther versus Sammy, which I'm sure is going to be set for Crown Jewel. Loved the promo segment that they had, Ludwig coming out and Sammy and Ludwig having a moment where Sammy, is starting to turn the knob a little bit on Ludwig and be like, hey man, maybe you should be going for this world title. Why are you speaking for Gunther? Why can't Gunther speak for himself? I love the little twist, and maybe Ludwig's the one that dethroned Gunther. And I just like the whole storyline of, because look, love Sami Zayn, and he does have a threat to Gunther as the only one on the main roster to pin him. Sure, Braun Breaker and Ilya have beaten Gunther as well, but that was on NXT. The main roster, a whole different beast, and Sami Zayn as of right now is the only man to pin Gunther. So with that storyline element in there, they were both Intercontinental Champion, and now they're going to face each other for a world title, which I am assuming is going to be at Crown Jewel, where Sami Zayn basically has home field and Gunther is able to beat him, silence that crowd, and what might be the main event of the show. Oh man, I just think that's going to be a great moment for him. And I just love how, we're taking our sweet time with it, right? Like it's just, my answer is still no. My answer is still no. We're going to beat Sami Zayn up. My answer is still no. And then, he gets the upper hand with Ludwig. Sami Zayn's going to get a couple wins and be like, look, I am now the clear favorite to face you at Crown Jewel. So let's do this match. So really looking forward to that. Really liking what we're doing with these storylines and with these promos. It's really good stuff. I also love the promo segment between Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. We are going to get the title match next week on Monday Night Raw. I was a little nervous at first where, Jey Uso coming out, he was doing the whole yeet thing. I get it, that's his catchphrase. Love the catchphrase. It is one of the hypest entrances ever when we're going yeet, yeet, yeet. Don't need in the promos all the time when Braun Breaker coming out and, he talks about, hey, at first I didn't want you to have it, but now that you got it, I get it. But this title is really my family. And then Jey Uso spinning it back on him, and then he got super serious. And Serious Jey is a really cool Jey, and I just really hope that WWE sees that and they go like, look, okay, yeah, no, yeet's your catchphrase, but we don't need you to say yeet after every single sentence on our show. Just be serious, talk authentically. If the crowd yeets, they yeet. And then just be, your very serious and vulnerable self. Because when he got serious, his promos got really good. Where he was like, hey, I'm about to dog walk you. Because, Braun Breaker was like, are there any dogs in the house here? And he goes, look, your title reign is going to be short and sweet, just like your NFL career. That was a great final line. And Jey got the upper hand. Now, I never really expected Jey to win the title next week. But it does make it pretty clear that Braun Breaker is going to win, or does it, because, Jey Uso came out during the main event segment and Braun Breaker speared him, so they're kind of tied. So it'd be really interesting to see how that plays out, although I am very, very confident that Braun Breaker wins. Also like what we're doing with the women's tag team division as well. Iyo Sky versus Bianca Belair, one of the best women matches on Raw, period. Absolutely love this match. A lot of great spots. They have great, amazing chemistry with each other. It was a very, very fun match. And Iyo won clean. Iyo won clean. Now, look, this is base level stuff for a tag team title. But I am like how there's some focus on it. And, now Damage Control is an actual threat. They beat Bianca clean. Maybe this adds to the whole, Bianca and Jade are going to break up at some point. I'm assuming in the next couple of months to build up their Mania program. Absolutely love that as well. I wish Kari was in there so that she can get the pin, because Io's kind of already over, right? I don't know if Iyo necessarily needed the clean win over Bianca, and if if Kari is actually hurt, then it is what it is, and this was the plan, and let's just let Iyo get the pin instead of Kari. But I would have really liked for Kari Sane to get the pin on it, just to give her a little bit more credibility. Look, I love her, you love her. We're like, more than average wrestling fan, right? I think her pinning Bianca clean, even if it's a surprise roll-up, would have done wonders for Kairi Sane and to make Damage Control more of a threat, because now it's just not Iyo Sky carrying the group. Now, the World Tag Team title match, I think we should just have New Day win it. I wasn't a huge fan of the finish. I did like everything we did afterwards with Xavier and Kofi, going back and forth. Xavier saying, I can't do this anymore. Why are you getting help? The whole segment backstage with the LWO where Kofi's like, no, I told him to come help. When we saw earlier Xavier going no to Damian and Rhea and Jay saying, hey, don't come out and help. I need us to prove this, that we can do this on our own. And then Kofi be like, no, I sent the LWO, and they're having that whole debacle. Loved all the aftermath due to the finish. I just wasn't a huge fan of the finish in general. I know that probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but it was just a lot. And I just don't get why the referee was out there trying to settle all these bodies when there's two clear legal men, when we have done this before. But it does help with the story. I am very intrigued with this New Day story, and this is a story that has been building up for quite some months. Karrion Kross is now out of it. Odyssey Jones obviously is no longer within the company, so they have to pivot the storyline a little bit. But I am really digging what they did with it. I think now it's at the best that's ever been. Now we're just focusing on Kofi and Xavier, and there's no other parties that we have to entertain. It's just these two. Really intrigued how that's going to go. I really wonder how these storylines on just Raw is going to continue on once they go down to 2 hours in 2 weeks. Because with the 3 hours, you're able to really spread them out a little bit and give them the time. Some of these storylines don't get a lot of time, like the Pure Fusion Collective. We'll get into that in a little bit. But, like New Day and Kofi Kingston, time was given to this to actually tease this breakup. Now, I do think that they won't break up. I think Big E's going to come out some point to be the one who really settles it and gets them back on the same page, and then maybe they win the tag team titles. But if we do get a Kofi Kingston versus Xavier Woods match, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I really don't think the breakup is going to happen. I think there's a lot of money to be left on the table if we do that. But if we did, I'll be all for the challenge. I would love to see how the curveball works, but yes, Xavier and Kofi, really, really loving the storyline that they are doing. Also love what they're doing with Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. Loved how they're like, look, let's just not do the match. Let's just break the ropes and let's wreak havoc, break the walls down. Love what they're doing. I wonder what the finale is, because they do have to go back. And how does The Miz play into this? Because he's going to Braun Strowman and be like, hey, what do you mean I can't go against Bronson Reed? Because he's also dealing with Karrion Kross, and they're having conversations, and Karrion is in the Miz's head, and Braun's going like, no man, I have a lot of respect for you. It's just like, he's a monster, I'm a monster. Sometimes you just gotta let those monsters do these things. My favorite part though is when Bronson Reed threw a fan at Braun Strowman. That was so much fun. Now obviously it was an indie wrestler, right? But that was so funny how Braun Strowman started to do his train thing, and then you just see some random guy fly through the screen. Absolutely loved it. Great segment. The only Raw segment that's being built out throughout just Raw that is not hitting for me is the Pure Fusion Collective. Zoe Stark versus Natalya. Natalya wins with the surprise roll-up. Kind of wish we just saved the surprise roll-up for Iyo versus Bianca, but hey, it is what it is. It's just, what are we doing? I feel like, obviously, the men's Bloodline match at Survivor Series is the War Games match, right? The Bloodline Civil War is going to be the SmackDown War Games match. So I feel like with the women, they're going to do the Pure Fusion Collective with Lyra, Zelina, Natalya, then whichever two bodies that they get on their side. And it's just not hitting. I think maybe this Survivor Series, we do just one War Games match and just call it a day. Now, usually, if the men get one, the women get one, but I do feel like this is the storyline that they're like, look, this is our women's War Games match, so we got to give it time. The match was short. Pure Fusion Collective keeps losing. I think Pure Fusion Collective needs to be that, keeps getting wins so that, they do feel like, hey, we need more bodies to take these three down. But yeah, that's the only storyline that's not really hitting for me. As for the stuff that is happening at Bad Blood, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Really good promo by CM Punk. I think this was probably my favorite promo of his since he came back. that's so low. When he's talking with people, my favorite is still the Drew, Punk, and Seth promo in Chicago and the road to WrestleMania. But how he came out, he's like, look, it's put me in the hospital twice. I am willing to die. I have many matches left in me, but I do not have any Hell in a Cell matches left in me. I am willing to bleed. I'm willing to do all these things with Drew. So I hope you're ready to go to hell, because I am. And if you go on social media, you see Drew McIntyre also responded to that. Great stuff by both of them. I think it's best to keep them separate until maybe the week of. Maybe Punk takes next week off and we have just Drew on the show, and then next week we have them face to face, the final face off before the final match at Bad Blood. But yeah, I love the stuff that we did with Punk. And I am very curious because I really don't know who wins. My money says CM Punk wins, since the dirt sheets are saying Punk versus Gunther is the planned World Heavyweight title match at Survivor Series. But I'm not fully committed. I wouldn't be surprised if Drew wins. I just hope it's really bloody. But yeah, great promo from Punk. Again, just much more serious, a different tone, really, because usually, he's always up there. He says, is it great to be alive on the Monday night or what? He didn't say that there. He didn't say it's clobbering time. He was super, super serious because this feud has hit a boiling point, and absolutely loved every delivery within it. And I like everything we're doing with the Judgment Day. I like how we had Finn and Rhea had a promo segment. That was really good, and how Finn's like, look, I'm the one who told Dom to cheat. And I wanted to make sure you knew that it came from me. And Liv talking to Damian. And Damian's like, you know what, Liv, you do got a set. You better hold on to those tight because Liv is coming for you. And then, the tag team title match, they weren't part of it. But then the main event segment between Dominic and Damian. Damian's coming off like a badass. He'll wreak havoc. And Judgment Day stood tall. And I think that's really important. They needed to stand tall. They need to look like a threat. We have a couple more weeks left to make it more even. I do have Liv Morgan retaining the world title at Bad Blood, and then maybe they separate. Maybe Raquel Rodriguez makes her return, and maybe we do Liv versus Raquel, with Raquel being like, Liv, this ain't you. This is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. And Liv being like, nah, bitch, this got me the title, and now I'm going to keep this, so now we can fight about it. Damian versus Finn. I really don't know how it goes. I kind of hope Finn loses the title before they get to that match, because I don't know what it is about tag team champions being in single matches on PLE, so it just kind of irks me. Like, if the tag team champion is going to be compete on the PLE, have him defend his damn title. So I kind of hope he loses it before we get to that match, but love everything I did with it. Finn hitting 3 coup de grace after Damian got the win against Dominic Mysterio. So yeah, again, overall, a absolutely fantastic episode of Monday Night Raw. I had a lot of fun with it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it. If you made it this far in this video, I do greatly appreciate it. So leave a like if you can do that for me. I would appreciate that. And again, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I'll greatly appreciate it. Until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Limit Studios.